I got this composter for free a while back, and it's a nice device except for it was poorly designed. It's a decent sized composter too. It was a spinning composter, but it was very poorly designed in that they had a little bit of plastic to hold the fitting that went onto the legs, the stand, which then obviously ripped apart. And it did not go all the way through the composter. Just a little bit of plastic was all it was, and it ripped out. It was a really, really poor design. But I'm going to modify this and put a rod all the way through and use 2x4s inside and out for new framing, and then build a new stand with it, or for it. So right now I've got to cut off this junk and get that out of the way. So I got my little Dremel out for that. So I've got to get this flat so I can start working this new frame in place. All the broken and ripped up stuff has to get out of the way. So now I'm going to cut the rest of that off, and that side will be prepared. So now I've got a flat surface to work with. Cut that end piece off. I'm going to do the same on the other side to get that side prepared for the new fittings we're going to put on here. I got an electrical conduit and some plumbing hardware. So the conduit just slides through here all the way through, and then the plumbing hardware, which is a pipe mount base. I don't know what you call that exactly. I forgot the name of it. And I picked these up at the hardware store the other day when I was in town, and that we're going to fasten to 2x4 framing to give this more strength so that it doesn't break through again like it did originally. And then that'll be on a 2x4 frame on the pallet to hold it up, and then we can spin it as needed. So what I'm doing right now is putting holes through some reinforcing boards that'll be inside the new composting bin. Got 4 boards, and I'll show you in a minute why. Over here, that's going to be the reinforcements, one on the inside and one on the outside of the bin to hold this together and keep it from falling apart again. And then this will be screwed onto there. It is extra strength. I think it's overkill, honestly, now that I think about it, but it'll never wear out.
Yeah.
With that metal, there's no way that'll ever wear out now. So it can wear up to the diameter of the metal with time, but it won't ever wear through that wood. So I know I do a lot of things in overkill, but that's going to be good. Now I'm going to take some screws. I'm going to screw this through with 3-inch screws to secure that on straight through the entire thing, and then that'll never come apart again. I've got one inside and one outside, and I'm going to screw them together straight through the case. So I'm simply going to put this through here. Make sure I get the right bit for these screws. Just 4 screws. Should be more than enough. And this will hold because the plastic is weak. There we go. Now that's all the way through the walls. These are deck screws, so they're strong. Now, that's rugged. That's never going to break. That's never coming off again. Check this out. So if they had only built this strong in the first place, it would have never had any problems. But they didn't, probably so they could sell more. So there it is. That is going to be rugged. Because there's a lot of weight inside a composter of this size. And all they had was a simple little plastic piece to hold that together. So I'm going to put this one on as well, the same thing I did over here, and then we'll start building the frame for this. We're going to have a serious, heavy-duty composter here for free. Well, except for the cost of the hardware. I think it cost me $6 for a composter, which is usually about $129 or more. So, happiness here. Right now I'm repurposing lumber that was used on the old motorhome porch. And using them for the framing for my composter. I've marked and cut an angle at the bottom. These are going to make a V-shape stand for the composter. And then the composter will stand up in the notch of the V. So now I just have to take them over and mark where I want the notch to be. So I'm going to measure these at the same distance all the way down and screw them together, making a V. And then I'll put a cross brace on the bottom to hold them together so that they are not wobbly. and then we'll have our frame done. It's a really quick, simple project using all scrap materials except for the plumbing and hardware. Alright, what I've done now is I've clamped the two together, I've toe-nailed them in, and I put a 2x4 on to straight through the pallet frame, which this will be braced into here and screwed through for strength. And then later, once this is in the air, I'll have angle bracing to stop it from wobbling this way. So what I want to do now is measure these where they're going to cross together to make the V. Looks like 9 inches is a good point. I want the I want to measure so they're the same angle and everything. This isn't easy. Well, that's pretty much right there, actually. They're right on. Just wanted to make sure that the angle is the same and it's centered right before I screw these together here. Okay. There's that. Now see, it's a little wobbly yet, so before we're finished I'm going to have some cross bracing on these to stop that wobble. Now I'm going to do the other side just the same. But you can see a very, very simple composter coming together here. So I've got the composter in the air. This is bowed out just a tiny bit, but it's going to be fine. Once I reinforce this with cross bracing, just scrap lumber, there's nothing special going on here. Just scrap lumber. I'm even reusing screws from the old RV porch for this. And I'll do the other one on the other side, and that'll stop any wobble back and forth. And then I'm going to put the screws in from here underneath into that 2x4 in the bottom, and that'll be pretty strong. Well, everybody, there it is. Pretty solid and actually rock solid. This isn't no shakiness, no wobbly. Really, really strong. I'm really pleased. We've got ourselves a composter. Almost free. The only hardware I put in there was a $2 piece of conduit and a couple dollars in pipe hardware, which I didn't actually have to use, by the way. So this could have cost me almost $2. And we reused the screws. So there we have a compost tumbler. Really, really exciting to have something like that done for free in such a short time. This took me, all in all, maybe an hour or so, just around an hour, to put together from start to finish. So there we have it, everybody. A free, almost free, off-grid composting tumbler. Really nice, and that'll be really long-lasting and rugged because it's off the ground, it's on a pallet, and it's going to be durable. Way, way more durable than it was, because that came with a thin steel tube frame. Really thin garbage steel tube frame, and really thin junk plastic on the to hold the shaft in place. It was really bad. Actually, the shaft didn't even go through the thing. It was just sort of two pieces of metal went inside the plastic nipples on the edge, and that was it. It was just not well made, but now it is. So, talk to y'all later. Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project with the new tumbling composter.